We live?
We're live.
Fucking hell.
Finally! Can I spit?
Yeah, it's good. Okay, everybody, welcome to my channel. This is the first time I'm actually going live here. This is probably going to go disastrously awful, but we are still gonna do it. So while you're here, just sit down, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the catastrophes. Alright,
that are coming!
Yes, that are coming. Join on the adventure with us as we try to make sense of all kinds of
home rules and fun activities.
Fun activities, definitely, yeah. So, face reveal, yay!
Yay!
I'm ugly, he's a bit less ugly, just deal with it. I need glasses, but I only have these ones, I need black ones. You should have thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, before anything, I just wanna quickly shout out my patrons. There's actually so many of you at the moment that I'm actually
not proud of you, brother.
Not gonna bother reading all of your names.
Come on, you have to.
Alright. So, Adar Mills, Blaze Ridge, Caleb Ellis, Corey Close, and Dustin Berry, Frank Fan, Gregory Twards, Jay Penhue, Jake MLK, Kevin Curtin, Matthews, Rudy, Matthew Ewing,
Mr. Fredo!
no, he actually only gave one, so he doesn't get a shout out.
He doesn't get a shout out?
No.
Sorry, Mr. Fredo! Sorry, I was there for you.
Yeah, Shia Deskin, Simon Peterson, Stephen Fitzgerald, Suburban Hell, and Victor Query. Jesus Christ, that took a while. Each and every one of you, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for pledging $10. And with that said, what are you doing?
I'm trying to see us alive.
Yeah, that's actually a very good idea. Yeah, we are very bad at this. This is the first time I'm actually trying to go live. I don't know. Are we talking for nothing?
Yeah, I think.
If we are talking for nothing, I'm gonna shoot myself.
Yeah, I see us live, so...
yeah. Well, like, that's kind of weird. Yeah, it should be here.
Is it? Is it though?
Let me see.
Wait. I fucking studied the game.
Okay, yeah, actually we are live! There we go!
Okay, there we go.
Everything's good. Yeah, we are so ready for this.
We are so ready.
So ready. Alright, so my buddy over there is gonna play a little bit of For Honor.
Because he doesn't
Because
know.
I like the game, but I'm so shit at it, so I'm not gonna even bother playing. But, why is it... why is it 360p?
I stream 700.
Right.
See?
Okay.
I'm good, boy.
Sure. We only have one viewer, which is me at the moment, but who cares? It's all good. It's all gonna be saved, hopefully later. Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
I didn't press record on the screen.
Oh, yeah, you should do that.
Maybe I should do that. Yeah. All right. Now, okay, so
you should do that.
yeah, we did all of the stuff already.
And then press record.
So yeah, hello everybody, blah 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 blah.
We did a shout out.
Yeah, we did a Patreon shout out.
Thanks, you guys. Again.
Yeah, and we go.
And Mr.
Mr. Fred Arenta.
Mr. Fred.
Yeah, he gets a special shout out. All right, so topic at hand, home rules. This is going so well.
This is so good.
So freaking well. Yeah, basically this is just a couple of if you can see the screen, that means that we failed at saving the gameplay, which resulted in you watching this bland little stupid Word file which I'm reading at the moment. So yeah, this is the file which is sort of like half finished for all the rules that I use in my campaign, and most of those are used in campaigns that are DM'd by either him or other people who DM in our home group. But yeah, that's sort of like the starting point which I wanted to use just as like a springboard for ideas. Yeah, do you wanna say anything else before we?
Yeah, probably. We had a lot of thoughts put into these rules. A lot of late hours were set in these rules because someone doesn't want to play by these and someone just want to play by the robot. I think we settled down on something that's good for DM and the players. So you will see the list right now.
Yeah, that's sort of true. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely attest to spending too much time actually trying to figure out whether some kind of home rule or whatever kind of concoction that I made in my mind is worth even spending time on, and then you still spend time on it and then ask the people what they think about it. Yeah, you're bad. Then you come to the session and everybody tells you that you're an idiot because it's completely retarded. But yeah, I mean, the process actually resulted in something that we use in most of our games.
As an ordinary.
Yeah. It's like we basically use those rules as stock rules, even though they are not default rules. Yeah. So some of those rules, let's begin with.
I should mention the critical one.
Yeah, critical one. It's at the top of the list here. We actually, what's this sound?
I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, he's gonna briefly leave the screen. Critical rule, critical hit home rule. Basically, how many times have you been in a situation where you score a critical hit, and instead of rolling just one die of your weapon, you roll 2 die, and then you roll 1/1 on those die, and your critical hit ends up like 4 or 5 points of damage. And then you roll just a regular hit, which is like 1 die, 1d6 plus 3, let's say, and then you roll a 6 on the 1d6. So your normal damage ends up 9 hit points worth of damage. So your critical hit is 5 hit points worth of damage, and your normal hit is 9 points worth of damage, which is completely bonkers if you ask me.
Yes.
So first iteration of what I thought was going to be a good change was just maxing the damage on one set of dice and then rolling the other set of dice on top of it just normally. But if you think about it, that's a little bit too extreme. For example, Paladin's Divine Smite, which is a 5d8 as a 4th level spell slot, then becomes a 10d8, which would result in like 5 times 8 is 40, so like 45 damage guaranteed plus additional 5d8. That would be a bit too much. So we ultimately agreed as a group that basically if you roll a critical hit, only 1 die is going to be maxed, either the weapon die, or if it's a cantrip, one of the cantrip die, or one of the spell damage die. Just one of them is going to be maxed, and all the other are rolled as they are. This results in a fairly balanced system where, for example, if you crit with some kind of spell which deals like 10d6 or something, it's only one die, so it's not much of a difference. But if you crit with a weapon which has only like 1d6 worth of damage, that's you have a guaranteed 6 plus your ability modifier plus additional 1d6 which is rolled on random. So in case of a scimitar or short sword, it would be, for example, if your ability modifier is plus 3, it would be like 12 damage on average with a critical hit, which is sort of what critical hit should be. It should be a bit more damage than just like a normal hit does. Yeah.
And also, what we did there was not intensively. We boosted up Great Axe. The Great Axe is very like you never use the Great Axe because Great Swords are better, statistically speaking. But like that, we boosted it because now you can actually crit and deal some more damage, and it's meant to be weapon with a critical strike.
Yes, exactly.
Like to behead something.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of numbers, the great sword or maul deals 2d6, so only one of those 2d6 will be maxed.
Yeah.
While great axe deals 1d12, that 1d12 would be max, which would result in 12 plus 3 plus additional 1d12 worth of damage. So like maybe even like above 20 critical damage with just a single hit of great axe if it's a critical.
But
yeah,
it has to be like no one wears great axe. But now, if you are that champion,
champion barbarian, whatever.
Yeah,
critical. You're
critical seeker.
Yeah, critical fisher. Yeah,
fisher. Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, if you're a critical fisher with my home rule, great axe actually makes even a little bit more sense, because now for the critical hits it's really good, because you get a lot more damage when you score the critical hit. So yeah, basically that's what I sort of wanted to do with the critical hit, and obviously that's what we do. Another rule that we use, if we go back to here, is, well, it's not sort of a rule, but sort of like a ruling in terms of a shield spell. In our games we actually, like, a shield spell is a lot of, there's like a lot of discussion and arguments about how DMs rule shield spell. In our case, we are almost certain that the most, like the best way to rule shield spell is by telling the player how much you rolled on a d20 without telling the player the modifier on that d20. So for example, if you have a monster with a plus 10 to hit, if that monster rolls 11 on a d20, the player is kind of, I mean, the player can kind of assume that the monster can have a lot of like a bonus to that hit, but he doesn't know. It's still like sort of a decision making, while not being completely just spend the spell slot without knowing what will happen, you know, which is stupid if you ask me, because you should know in game if an attack that is going your way is really precise, or it's just like barely hitting you in your flesh or something.
That's definitely a good thing that we did. Like, you can see if arrow is going straight
towards your face. Yeah, and then in that case, for example, you are not gonna raise a shield or whatever the scenario might be, because you don't have enough time, or the arrow,
or something.
Yeah, or something, yeah. But in terms of like, just like somebody swinging or hitting you with a dagger, well, like if that roll is not high enough, that shield spell might actually work. Something that I sort of use in my campaign, which, well, it's up to DM as well. Insight rolls. Insight rolls are they're sort of like almost a superpower if they are used incorrectly, if you ask me. So you might remember that as we play, when the first time you encounter some NPC or something, and then you ask me, can I roll an insight check to see whether the NPC is lying or something? Yeah, well, you're dying.
No.
Whether the NPC is dying or anything, I do sometimes tend to tell you this is the first time you met him or her.
Yeah.
You really, even though you roll 25,
it's hard to read someone if you don't know him.
Yeah, if you're fairly certain that person is telling the truth or maybe lying, but you're not 100%. This is the first time you're talking to that person. This is the first time you are looking, observing him or her. You don't know, which is, and oftentimes I've seen DMs just automatically saying if it's a very high insight roll, regardless of the situation, or the NPC or something the player is interacting with, they just say you, well, with 100% certainty know the person is lying or not. Which is sort of like I won't say it's wrong, but it definitely ruins the, sort of like, it definitely makes the insight roll a bit better than I think it should be. So yeah, that would be something that I would consider like a home ruling, which I would definitely say makes sense. Do you have any suggestions, like for general?
If you know, if you like know someone, like if you are brother with him. Even with PCs, like we had brother and sister contact.
Yeah.
Like I was the lying type,
Yeah.
and he was the cleric.
I was clear. I was trying to be truthful.
Yeah, and I would say that maybe he can read me better than anyone else, and like he gets an extra +1, +2 on insight on me, or I get minus deception on him, whatever you look like.
Yeah.
But I think that's like better. You know someone, so you have to know like
Or just give that person advantage or something.
advantage or
Yeah.
pluses. It's better to give it maybe advantage because always give advantages. That's I think a bad thing. I move the camera a bit.
That camera, yeah, that we need to, you really need to put some.
Yeah.
That thing is gonna fall.
You think?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna
You don't want to see us.
fall.
Our backstage is.
It's
really
super,
bad. It's
super
bad.
startup. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I definitely agree on that. There are situations.
What's your name? I can't read your name. Sorry.
Oh man, that's some. Are you Greek?
Yeah, is that me?
I think that's Greek. Right?
I want to suggest something. Any proficient skill roll regularly or any.
Without proficient got any proficient skills roll regularly. Any without proficient. Well, I would agree if this is the first time. He is Greek, yeah, I guessed correctly. Yeah, it looks Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree that sometimes you should give disadvantage on certain skill checks and rolls, depending on a situation. If the person is, for example, a bard, even if he is not proficient in performance as a skill, you should still not impose disadvantage because he's a bard. He spent time in the college. He does have some musical proficiencies.
He has jack of all trades.
Yeah, and he has jack of all trades. But like even for example, a wizard who never ever in his life tried to lift anything. I mean, yeah, maybe you could impose disadvantage on his athletics check, maybe. But even then.
But it's breaking the character too much.
Yeah.
It's like very hard. If you want to play on gruesome reality stuff, that can work.
That can work. Yeah.
If you play in gruesome reality, but which we'll talk about next week. Gruesome reality. I'm playing the world. I'm having to create the world
like
of
3
gruesome
hit
reality.
points, you die from 1 hit. Like.
And that's the sort of thing I'm going to play, but that's next week's content.
Yeah, next week's content. Yeah, I mean, I would agree that for regular skill rolls, you could even sometimes ask your DM as a player,
Can I get an advantage?
can I get an advantage?
That definitely.
Yeah, this is something you have every right to do. Even if you are new to the game, you can ask the DM, can I get an advantage? The DM can tell you no, and that's it, but you can still ask him or her, if the DM is obviously a female. That's actually a very rare occurrence in our group, like super rare.
That's like we got like.
I should drink a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Do you like the cup? I'm showing it incorrectly.
We are not bothering anyone.
Yeah, this is just a generic D20 ceramic cup.
So, love the build videos, man. Waiting for views of awesome Ranger 2 weapon.
Yeah,
build.
I've been working on it.
Yeah,
bro.
the drifting.
The Ranger, I assume you're talking about the Kensei Ranger monk that's been suggested as from one of my patrons. I've been working on it on and off. I have to be honest, it's not going to be nearly as good as some of my other videos on the channel, but my other builds, but yeah, I'll probably release it by the end of this week because I'm kind of getting a bit tired of just like watching and just crying over how bad it is compared to my other builds. But yeah, thank you for your support, by the way. Thank you for coming and watching me live here.
We are happy to answer any questions given us about home rules and stuff.
Yeah. Basically
That's a bad one.
that's really bad. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, anyway, but he's still better than me a lot. Like I just started playing this game. It's super fun, but
also, we are not sponsoring anyone.
yeah, we're not sponsoring, but
For honor
this
or
is just
anything.
like something that makes sense in terms of
Fighting.
just like our RPG, D&D, tabletop, yeah. And we wanted to make it a little bit more dynamic. Also, let me know in the comments or in the chat whether you even dig the idea of us playing games while talking about D&D. If not, we will consider alternative routes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
We
terms
love your
of
feedback.
yeah, we love feedback, definitely. So, in terms of some other rules, for example, subclasses. If you are into a little bit more sort of home brewing, you can go the route and changing certain like mechanics of certain classes and whatnot.
Did we do that? Like,
Yeah, well, I didn't do it in your campaign because I think most of the classes that you use are fairly balanced.
But we did it in your campaign with a revised ranger.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. We actually, in my campaign, we are using the revised ranger rule set,
Which is cancerous.
which is a bit overpowered, I must say.
Yeah,
Primeval
a bit.
awareness. That thing just having no limit on itself.
I think that should be.
Yeah, and he can do it like 1,440 times per day.
With no problem.
With no problems, yeah. That's a little bit broken, yeah. But other than that, like revised ranger is definitely, I'd say, on par with the rest of the classes if you compare it to the ranger, which is in PHB or
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely Beastmaster, yeah. But in terms of like house ruling, making just changing classes, changing how the rules work. I would say that, for example, there's a good what were you doing?
No, just stop.
Yeah.
If
okay.
we
record,
sure, so they
sure,
can
yeah.
see.
All right, so I could even maximize this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, basically, for example, Arcane Archer as a subclass is really cool in my opinion. The flavor is nice, makes
Really
sense.
nice flavor.
But mechanics are nowhere near as good as Battlemaster. Battlemaster Fighter is unfortunately, as a subclass, almost the fighter. If you want to play the best fighter possible, you just pick Battlemaster. So I think in-house games, in home games, where you can do whatever the heck you want, just like changing the rules, mechanics of certain subclasses makes sense. For example, for Arcane Archer, I believe I made it so that, for example, at level 10, I would give it that its arcane shot increases to 3d6.
Yeah.
It's not a significant change, but it's still something. Otherwise, just the way it's written in Xanatar's Guide to Everything, the only damage increase it gets is at level 18.
And that's.
Who gets to level 18? Like, I've never played a level 18 character. So, yeah, I'm like perfectly. I think that's like a good way to do it. Also, for example, willing movement. Something that
willing movement.
willing movement.
We
yeah,
had
this-
so much fun with it.
Willing movement is something that we argued a lot about, and we ultimately decided, even though it's against what, for example, Jeremy Crawford and even Mike Merle said about willing movement, if the creature is using its action, reaction, or movement, or bonus action, it's a willing movement. For example, there are situations, for example, with Dissonant Whispers. If you cast Dissonant Whispers on a creature that has been hit by Booming Blade. Booming Blade has that thing that procs on willing movement. So the creature uses its reaction, but by rules as written, that's not willing movement. Now I will ask you a question. How does a stupid cantrip called Booming Blade know if the creature who used its reaction is moving willingly or not? The creature is legitimately using its own legs or tentacles or whatever the way the creature is moving to move, using its reaction, and then the cantrip can just telepathically detect whether it's a willing move.
It's a movement.
It's magic. I agree. You can say it's magic. It works because it's magic, but it's like in my head, it's just come on. Like it's if the creature.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, it's a cantrip. It shouldn't know if it's a willing movement or not. Yeah. So basically, if the creature is using action, bonus action movement, or whatever, like any reaction, it's a willing movement, period. And that's basically how I rule it in my games. I would love to see power building without multiclass, such as best class, race, combo, weapons, magic items, proficiencies. Hello there. Hello there. I actually do have something in plan for single classes. I do want to make single class builds because I really think that the more I play, the more I get experience just playing all of these wild multi-class builds that deal like 200 damage in a single round. I really think that you can definitely compromise on the damage department, even to the point of dealing like less than 50 damage per round. In exchange for getting those high-level spells, getting those high-level features, getting those just high-level abilities which enable you to have that really unique, useful stuff that you cannot get if you are multi-classing. For example, at the moment I'm playing a level 10 Bardladin, that's how it's called. One of the videos on my channel, it's called Herald of Halal. I'm sure you watched it or something. If not, just you can watch it later. But yeah, I mean, I'm playing a level 10, and like it's doing a crap ton of damage. I kill stuff very easily, but it's really not tanky. It really misses that one hit point you get extra from all the levels of Paladin. It misses that aura of protection. Yeah, it misses that level 7 aura of the Paladin. So basically I'm just standing there in melee range. I'm hitting a challenge rating 20 monster. I like do 100 damage in a round, and then that monster hits me once and then I'm down. Because I cannot get saves, because I don't get to add my charisma to all the saving throws. My AC is not as good. I don't have enough hit points, all of that stuff. So I would definitely say that single class is a way to go if you don't really want to overtune your build. Oh, didn't I?
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
It's not live.
Yeah, well,
it should be live.
It should be live. I don't know why. Well, okay. Well, half an hour passed. Anyway, I think we are. I mean, what other important house rules?
The house rules. I think
your thing with pluses and minuses. That's a really good thing.
Yeah, the best thing we do, like it was my creation.
Yeah, his creation.
Yeah. So, if you have a party that you want, as a DM, you want them to get into role playing, to get the chills of you becoming a character. So how can you achieve that? You give something to players. That's inspiration points. As a DM, you can give inspiration points. So we have a basic chart. I think I have it here.
Well, it's not going to be that visible on the camera.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell it.
Yeah.
So you can have like table with the names written of the characters. Their passive, proficient stuff, all things you can usually look and see. So when you have that, you give them pluses when they are doing a little stuff of role playing. Like if you are doing, I think, like if they're doing something in character, even small things, like I don't know.
Yeah, small things.
He wants to, I don't know, brew stuff, except he first wants to go to alchemical table because he's alchemist or something like that.
Yeah.
Even he wants to go there, even if there's a fight, he wants to go there.
Yeah. But it's not so good that you can immediately give him inspiration.
And I
It's
give
just
them
a little thing.
Yeah, and I give them like if you get 3 pluses, you get inspiration points. And if you have an inspiration point and you get another one, you get XP, 5% of your last level, and that's scales pretty high. Like even right now in like level 12, it's like 800 or 1000 XP.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. Like 5% of the level. But
difference,
the difference. Of
It does make it a little bit more mathy. You have to calculate,
but it's not.
But it's like once you know the differences and you do the percentages, you pretty much know how much XP each level difference is worth in terms of inspiration.
Yeah, because it gives your even newbies
incentive.
It gives them something like
I
can play like I want to play like even they don't know they want to role play and they start role playing.
Yes, they
and also there is
mechanical.
There is a punishment if they are not playing. They get minuses if they don't have any pluses. First you subtract their pluses to minuses, then you give them minuses, and if minuses gets to inspiration, you de-inspiration them or de-XP them if they don't have an inspiration there.
Yeah, so but it can work to deal with like troublesome players.
Also, I never done that. I have a great party.
I agree.
We have
we have like one of the best group of people.
Yeah, we have seriously great people that want to role play, and I give them XP, and I am not how to say. Ne bojim se that.
He's not afraid
of giving them XP because they deserve it.
Yeah.
They roleplay, they put me in the story and they put themselves in the story, and that's the whole point of D&D.
And definitely, I mean, and also in terms of XP, I'm using the hardness calculators. Like I'm giving you more XP.
More XP,
yeah. So if, for example, if you go, can you go on the No, well, who cares? So, for example, if you go to kobold.org, you will I think it's kobold.club or something.
Kobold Club.
Kobold.club, yeah, I think.
Koboldclub.org.
Or something, yeah. You can see that, for example, you can... I don't know why it's doing that.
I think it's your internet.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to get your questions. Just let me quickly tell about this before we are done. We are using the sort of like a rapid XP progression in terms of combat. How much XP the players get per combat. So, long story short, the more monsters there are on the board, the more XP the players, the more XP each monster is worth in terms of danger. So, like for a party of 4 players, I think even 5 monsters is already 1.5 modifier. So it's instantly like much harder based on the challenge rating. And if you go over to the Dungeon Master's Guide, you can see that you always award only the XP, the base XP of the monster, not the modified XP that the monster is worth in terms of danger and how many monsters are on the board. Yeah. But in my opinion, like giving the players that extra XP due to the fact that they just killed 15 challenge rating million monsters, makes sense because those monsters on their own are not that scary, but together with their pack tactics, with like all of their multi-attacks, all of the damage,
maybe even the spells,
the action economy, like the players are really getting tested because the players get like 10 to 15 actions while the monsters get 30, 40, 50 actions.
And CRs are...
CR as a system is pretty much goes down the drain once you use multi-classing feats, especially feats. Sharpshooter.
Especially, like CR2 are good, after CR2 it's really hard. Yeah. Because I know in one campaign I throw you like two ghosts.
Yeah.
Two ghosts and
Yeah.
one CR half monster.
Yeah.
And you almost got wiped just
Yeah.
because they are like ghosts and you
Yeah,
was
and-
checking wisdom. And when I throw you like brute force CR 8s,
We
like,
just
on the
eat them.
same level, they were on the
eat
same level, like 2-3 CR 8s. They eat
Yeah,
it like nothing.
we had an easier time with encounters that on paper were deadly for us.
Yeah, so-
it weren't deadly for us because we just eat those. But as soon as you drop one of those low challenge rating monsters that don't even deal that much damage, but like have special kind of effects and features. Yeah, we almost got wiped that session. Even though the encounter on paper wasn't even medium, it was easy. But yeah, we almost died.
I'm so good at it, dude.
You're actually.
I killed two of them!
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I killed them.
Yeah.
Oh
now-
shit!
On to the questions. So, hello there. When is the Blade Singer build happening? As soon as I release my Kensei Ranger. I'm not sure when, but I believe next week. I'm not gonna promise anything because I promised so many things on this channel so far and I broke my promises.
Slowly.
I don't want to do it anymore. I am a bit of a perfectionist. I kind of get into this analysis paralysis phase with my builds. I just open my build and then I stare into the Word file for 1 hour, don't write a single letter in it, but I think like I'm doing something, and then yeah, the build doesn't get released. But soon, just trust me, both builds are going to be released soon.
I maybe want to go back to the rules.
Yeah. Huge thing is somebody asked about potions. What about potions? Should be a bonus action or just an action?
Bonus
I
action.
believe.
Depending on what you do.
I believe by rules it's an action.
It's an action.
Yeah.
But if you, maybe I would rule this something like if you had a crazy hard action, I wouldn't, like you couldn't do a potion thing. But if
Maybe.
you had like some easy action, like the action is picking up someone or not picking up, but I don't know. Give me an example.
Just walk somewhere, dash somewhere. You use an action to dash.
Yeah.
I mean it's easy. It's using your legs.
Easier actually.
While you are walking, you can use
If
your
you
bonus.
dash,
Yeah.
if you dash, then you can, like if you dash it to your friend, go to their potion, you can spill it in his mouth.
Yeah, I would say that
I would
makes
say that.
sense. But for example, if you are grappling someone, you're like
You used your action.
you're using your grappling, you're fighting, you're doing this and that. I mean, it's up to DM. I'd say it's up to DM.
Because
But
it's very edgy.
technically by rules it's an action, but I would agree with you that in certain cases you might even give like a bonus action. Even maybe sometimes just give a free interaction.
Yeah,
Maybe. I mean it's still
rarely, but
maybe there are probably some edge cases where you could even say that. Yeah, I'm all for, even though I'm the first one who is going to challenge a DM on rules, and you know very well that I'm very bad
Yeah,
when
it
it comes to
gets-
that.
it's-
Yeah, I get very toxic because yeah. But I'm the first one who is going to agree that sometimes just like
You have to
going
play
by the rules is a little bit.
But we are talking about home rules.
Yeah. But that's why I say, like, if you are going to play everything by the rules, it's not going to be fun all the time, which is obviously why we are doing this episode.
Also, you have to use, like we always use a rule for cool.
Yeah.
Like if you did something so cool and you want done it, and in some cases it's possible, you always can do it. And if you roll high enough, you did it.
Yeah.
That's a rule for cool. Like you can walk on air. You can't, but if you try hard enough.
yeah. If you can always try, like we are always.
We are
going
never
by the-
saying you were never saying like you can't.
Yeah. Even if I know as a DM that he legitimately cannot do it because the DC is 30, I'm just gonna tell him, go ahead, try.
Roll, yeah.
Yeah, just roll. I mean,
Always give your players opportunities.
Even if it's just like a perceived opportunity. Sometimes the players really want to do something which is completely not like completely out of the realm of possibility, but still like don't tell the player no, because tell them just like go ahead, like try to jump over the 100 feet of like of a fallen bridge, you know. It's not gonna work, but you can try. Like, why not? So yeah, definitely go by that. So in terms of potion, going back to that, yeah, I'd say that bonus action is guaranteed in like a lot of cases, but if you're in a combat in the middle of the action, I'd say in most cases you should use an action.
Yeah.
Good berries as well. I think it's even written.
Good berries is also like a potion.
Yeah. I think it's even written in the spell that you legitimately need to use your action to.
But like it's the same thing.
Same thing as potion. Yeah, I'd say that as a DM, sometimes you are allowed and perfectly in your right to give your player. Wow, you got that.
I was right, but like.
Yeah, you're perfectly within your right to do it.
I like to play with the environment as an easy encounter, for example, in the forest. I will make it different.
See, if you're playing with Revised Ranger, that doesn't...
No. Revised Ranger, you don't have difficulty
that's true.
On traveling.
Yeah, that's true. So 1 hour at least. 1 hour at least. Yeah, 1 hour needs to pass before everybody ignores difficult terrain. But yeah, I mean, even in that case, I mean, I would agree. Terrain makes sense. I used in the recent boss fight that you had in my campaign, I used terrain heavily to the advantage of the hags. The hags, if you just fought them on the open terrain, you would just murder them. But they had their lair actions. They could go through walls. You didn't know where the walls go. You were stuck on the ground. You were flying.
Yeah.
There were other monsters, and you like, well, ask him. He was the player. I mean,
it was. I mean, we entered the lair, so it was expected to be hard.
Well, it was. I'd say
but
it was
two of them died.
very hard. Yeah.
Two of them died.
Yeah. Two players died, and like you finished with like what, 5 hit points.
Yeah, it was, everyone got downed, but someone got up and someone didn't.
Yeah, well, 4 of you survived, but 2 players died, legit just died.
Because you like to finish someone on the ground, and that's perfectly okay.
Some
yeah, if the monster knows how to fight, and they know the guys have a healer or something like that, yeah, you can totally finish them off.
Alright, so he's asking a very interesting question. About good berries, what if a player says, I have one in my mouth, so when I get unconscious, I will swallow it? As a reaction to the last hit.
No, that's no. Sorry, bro, that's no.
Alright, I would say okay, but as a reaction. So he needs to prepare an action to be able to do it. He cannot attack or cast a spell. I'd say it's okay.
If you prepare the action,
it's a ready action.
Okay.
It's a ready action.
If you prepare it, I'll say it's okay. But if he like just
if he wants to like
that spell.
What?
When that wizards can do, like when something happens, it will activate the spell. No. The spell is just like when something happens, he will activate the spell.
The spell is that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that is a spell.
Wizards? What's the level of the spell?
I don't know.
Well, too bad, bro. It's like so many spells. But yeah, anyway, the point here is I would. I'm sorry, I can't read your name. It's
Carlo.
Sorry. I'm really sorry. But yeah, I would agree that the player can do it. But
I think it is.
Maybe. Yeah. I think you're right.
Like you can when something happens, that will trigger the spell, and you don't need to use concentration. I think.
Give me a second.
Contingency. Yeah, contingency.
Contagion. At the end of the
No, it's not.
It's not that. Yeah, it's not that. But
Never mind.
never mind. Yeah. But it's Elias.
Ah, your name.
Elias. Yeah. I'm gonna call you Elias. It makes more sense.
Elias.
Even though it's probably Greek, so Elias makes more sense.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I'd say that if the player wants to do it, the player has to ready an action. It's perfectly by the rules, but the player, due to using his ready action, to be able to use his reaction and swallow the good berry, cannot attack, cannot dash, cannot cast a spell, cannot do something else. So, yeah, go ahead, like, tell the player you can do it, but there's a drawback to it.
That's a smart player.
But that's a smart player, yeah.
Player. But no, I wouldn't allow it. Like if you prepare it, like
yeah,
you know someone's going to hit you, and you like prepare your action to do that. When he hits me, I'll swallow it. But not just during the fight.
And even then, like, how do you rule? Does he first get knocked down to 0 hit points and then drops to 1?
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
You can't.
It's really like what's
no.
It gets.
It is a nice loophole, but no.
It gets like it gets into the territory of a discussion of a
maybe
fight.
like I can have a helmet with a potion on it, and I can suck it out without using action.
Yeah, the camera moved completely.
Yeah,
you really need to bring some duct tape.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's better than.
It's better. Yeah. Will this work? I won't touch it. There we go.
I did fucked up.
I did, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's just me. I do tend to experiment like that. Yeah, next time we will be ready. This is all.
This is the first time ever, so.
Yeah, it's still bad.
Yeah. Because you want to touch it.
Yeah, it's.
So just
leave it. Yeah.
Just leave it, yeah.
Alright, so we have about 15 minutes until an hour. That thing doesn't save more than an hour, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
It kept saying.
Alright, so yeah, basically, if you have any questions, shoot them our way.
Let's talk about some other experiment that we did.
Oh, yeah, well, sure. Go ahead. Like, did you have something specific in mind, or?
We do lots. I don't know how can I. I don't remember. If someone will attack me, and I'm in the video.
Yeah, that's because you're playing a game. You're not completely focused. I told you you're gonna have a problem thinking about all this stuff while playing.
One died.
Yeah, sure. That's some bonus action, extra attack action. Nice. All right. So in terms of some more, for example, rules. All right. So also, if you are going to talk about.
I'm just that one with when someone's giving half cover. And it shoots.
Oh right, yeah, that's a rule that we use.
That's a big one. Like it's rarely happening, but it's a really good rule. It's really good.
It makes sense, right? It makes sense.
It makes a lot.
So what he's talking is the creature providing cover to another creature. By rules, if the creature is directly in the line of sight in between the attacker and another creature, that creature provides half cover to the creature being attacked. So if the creature being attacked has 15 AC and that the creature in front of that creature provides +2 AC. +2 AC, exactly, so half cover.
And if someone hits that creature in exactly that 2 AC, it hits automatically.
But
your friend.
But if that creature has a higher AC,
then it doesn't hit.
It's not a hit. So it gets a little bit confusing. For example, if the creature in front of the creature with 15 AC, which gives that creature half cover, so the creature in front of that creature now has 17 AC.
Yes.
And the attacker rolls 16. Right.
Yeah.
So 16 is not a hit.
But it hits the creature in front of him.
Yeah, the creature in front of him provides cover to that creature, which is that +2 AC. And if the attacker rolled that 16, which is like the difference between 15 and 17, so 15, 16, and 17, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a hit if the creature providing the cover has an AC of 16 or less, right? That's how we use the rule, right? This has actually been prompted by my own experience as a player, where another guy who was DMing at a time ruled that the invisible creature in front of another creature provided cover.
Yeah.
I agreed with that, but the attack missed. The attack rolled like 8 or something, I don't know, below 10. And he ruled that even though the attack missed the creature that was attacked, that attack automatically hit the creature providing cover. Even though the attack was like an 8 and the creature had an AC of like 15 or more. Which is like, in my mind, that doesn't make any sense.
And yes, it and makes it all to players and PCs. No matter who stands in front of who, it counts for everyone.
Yeah, it counts for everyone, definitely. It's like an universal. This is definitely a very good house rule, which you are right.
It's rarely, a little bit the math, but it's reality.
It's reality, because if you are thinking about it, like, if that +2 AC does have to come from something, and if you hit that something which provides that +2, you have to also consider that that something has an AC of its own.
Yeah.
So
it's a good thing to counter someone being invincible and adding, like, someone can abuse that rule. Someone can abuse that rule, like someone's invisible and adding AC to the players.
Yeah.
Because he just wants to stay.
Yeah, definitely. It could be abused, which is why it's definitely abusable. It's kind of a niche case. It's very fringy, edgy, but it's
very rare also. But
but it's potentially exploitable. You're correct. Like, you can just be invisible in front of somebody, provide that +2 cover, and +2 to AC, and the creature by rules never hits you, which is whoa, you know. So we
it's
kind
another
of
shield.
Yeah, it's another shield basically. Yeah. I use that only at natural ones, and I make players or NPCs hit each other.
Yeah, we use that, but we use that only for range attacks.
Only for range attacks, yeah.
Not for.
And I also in my games, if the player is using a ranged attack, and his ally is directly in the line of sight in front of him, but like 5 feet in the next square, I rule that as not cover. Because I rule that as like a player shooting over the guy's shoulder or something. Yeah.
That's also we do.
Even though by rules as written it should be cover, but in my mind,
if he's just standing in front of him, it's just shooting over the shoulder.
Yeah, shooting over the shoulder.
Yeah, we play a lot of airsoft, so we know.
So we kind of do a lot of house rules if you think about it, but we use them as like, you know, it's just basic rules. Yeah. And here I am trying to make like builds that are legal and by rules. But yeah, I mean, basically, I think we covered most of it.
Can you see?
Pretty much like there's nothing in this file that we didn't cover yet. Oh yeah, well, Healing Spirit.
Yeah, Healing Spirit, definitely. Don't use that spell.
Healing Spirit. If you're gonna use that spell and I'm your DM, the Healing Spirit works once per round. Yeah. Period.
Not a reaction.
Not a reaction, nothing, just works once per round. That doesn't matter. If you don't know, the Healing Spirit is that spell which you can just make like a conga line out of combat, and for like, if you cast that spell using a 2nd level spell slot, it's going to do 10d6 healing for potentially 100 people, which is like crazy, you know, like it completely negates the point of short rests. It negates the point of not being able to have that 1 hour of short rest
or any hit points.
or any hit points, you know, because you just cast one spell and everybody gets healed by 35 hit points on average. It's yeah, I'd say Healing Spirit works once per round. Screw that, yeah. But yeah, anyway, like there are a lot of spells and things.
Did we do this stealth?
It's sort of more of a ruling. I mean, this is heavily like what DM thinks. This is just what I think, you know. So
Exhaustions.
Exhaustions. Yeah, exhaustions. So when you get hit and get downed, by rules there's no penalty. You can, in the middle of the combat, get downed 10 times and nothing happens. Now, we did discuss it a little bit. Before I made this choice for my campaign, you did roll like 2 times before rolling con saves or something?
Yeah, it was like when you get first down and up, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But the second time you get down and up, you get 1 level of exhaustion.
Yeah, yeah.
And now with this, it's more math, but
It's more math, but gives the player sort of like more control over what happens. So, for example, if you have a Constitution of 16, your modifier to Constitution is +3, which means that you can get dropped down to 0 hit points with 0 penalty 3 times per day. I think it's per day. Yeah, it's 3 times per day. So 3 times per adventuring day, if you get dropped down to 0 hit points, nothing happens. Every subsequent time, like the 4th time and everything, you roll a con saving throw. The DC is basically, well, DC is contentious. We did argue about DCs, but you can just use the standard barbarian model of first time being a DC of 10, second time being a DC of 15, 20, whatever. Yeah.
But
And
maybe start of 15 because
maybe, yeah, could
if
be.
you get like 3 times down, come on, you have to get some exhaustion there.
Yeah, I mean, but still, you have 16 Constitution.
Yeah, and gives a Constitution a little more
Yeah.
than just
Than just being a hit points, you know, because Constitution as an ability is the only ability which
Saves
has
10 hit points.
literally no skill.
Yeah.
There's no skill tied to
And
Constitution.
that is a good skill on Constitution.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
a new ability.
A new thing that could actually make Constitution just a little bit
It's
more.
a mathy thing, but it's
We do a lot of mathy thing, yeah, we do love our maths.
because we want something to be more realistic.
Yeah,
More
a
realistic.
bit more like, just like 5th edition. I mean, I'm not sure if we ever discussed it, but like 5th edition is very mild in terms of penalties.
Yeah, very easy to play.
Easy to play, yeah. Just by like the basic rule set. And you kind of, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you do have to start introducing penalties. Like, I, for example, don't agree if a player dies, it's an automatic level down. I think it's too much. I think it's too much. But
give them level up.
some players, I
Just
mean,
don't get them expect.
yeah, I mean, some players, some DMs are even going the route of like making that character a level 1 character, which is that's too much.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, if the player dies and gets revived, it's like, okay, give him some kind of penalty, but dropping the levels of like, or like making him permanently like having less maximum hit points or some stupid shit like that, I don't agree with that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of all of these like things, you kind of do have to make some house rules to make the game more challenging. Other than, well, you die and then you have a 5th level cleric who revivifies you,
And nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Yeah, I mean,
Except the
300 gold worth of diamond, which like a 5th level party should have access to anyway. In most campaigns, other than your campaign, because in your campaign my character had 37 gold for 20 sessions.
Yeah, I'm cheap.
In a Diablo setting.
Shush! We can't
Yeah.
speak of that.
Yeah, alright. So we are nearing the end. It's almost 1 hour. I think we are done here.
If you like this,
If
please.
you like this,
What? He said something.
without provoking attack opportunity. If I was your player, I would say to my druid, what? If I was your player, I would say to my druid, pass it on me, and then every round walk around the creature in 5 feet, and just every round pass through the healing spirit without broken the... I mean, yeah, but I think that's a bit... I mean, yeah, you can do even that, but I think it's a bit too complex, and... I mean, just make it
a one round.
Just make it a one round proc. It can only be proc one time per round. That's it. I think that's a decent. Even Jeremy Crawford said that the healing spirit might actually be a little bit broken out of combat. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, if you like this live stream, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button. You know the drill.
We are tending to do more of these.
We tend to do more of these, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys like it.
If you guys like it, if you think this is something that's actually worth spending your time on.
Just talking with us.
Also, feel free to drop your Twitch channel. He sometimes streams For Honor,
or
streams
other stuff.
He doesn't do it very often. He's very bad at games.
No, I'm not.
I
just died.
You died. He's bad. I told you. Yeah.
So I do Apex, Black Ops, and stuff.
Yeah,
maybe some indie games.
If you are interested, just drop him a follow or something.
Little Manistra, you can see it on the screen.
Yeah, you can definitely see it on screen. Yeah.
Or if we don't record it.
If this has all been a failure, then yeah, well, this is all.
Yeah, it's been a waste.
Anyway, that's about it. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
And stream.
Bye, guys.
Right.
Wait, I need to do one more thing. Video clip.
Znaš tako failer sad.
Sharing a video clip. YouTube.
Ne moraš share, stavi na unlisted ili
Ok, je, ovo je od početka.
Private. Je li piše time? Stavi privacy na private. Okay, tako da mogu poslije to napraviti. Mislim da smo pokrili sve, no? Nije bilo nekih stvari što nismo baš bitnih stvari.
You are still on broadcast.
Really?
Yeah.